Father God, bless this temple, anoint this temple, in Jesus' name, we are victorious. Greetings, beloved. This is your sister Caroline Ribisi. Today we are going to look at the consequences of disobeying God's commandment. Remember, when God instructed Samuel to tell Saul that he had decided to settle account with the nation of Amalek for opposing Israel when they came from Egypt, God said to Saul, "Go and completely destroy the entire Amalekite nation, men, women, children, babies, cattle, sheep, goats, camels, and donkeys." God's commandment was destroy everything. Saul went to the mission. When he embarked on his journey, he went there with his army. Then Saul slaughtered the Amalekites from Havilah all the way to shore east of Egypt. He captured Agag, the Amalekite king, but completely destroyed everyone else. Saul and his men spared Agag's life and kept the best of the sheep and goats, the cattle, the fat calves, and the lambs. In fact, everything. What was appealing to them. They only destroyed what was worthless or of poor quality. But this was not what God has instructed. The instruction was Saul must destroy everything. Then the Lord said to Samuel, "I am sorry that I ever made Saul king, for he has not been loyal to me and has refused to obey my command." Samuel was so deeply moved when he heard this, and he cried out to the Lord all night. Early the next morning, Samuel went to find Saul. Someone told him, Saul went to the town of Carmel to set up a monument to himself. Then he went on to Gilgal. When Samuel finally found him, Saul greeted him cheerfully. "May the Lord bless you," he said. "I have carried out the Lord's command." You see, according to him, he carried the Lord's command. Then, what is all the bleating of sheep and goats and the lowing of cattle I hear?" Samuel demanded. It's true that the army spared the best of the sheep, goats, and cattle, Saul admitted. "But they are going to sacrifice them to their Lord your God. We have destroyed everything else." Then Samuel said to Saul, "Stop! Listen to what the Lord told me last night." "What did he tell you?" Saul asked. And Samuel told him, "Although you may think little of yourself, are you not the leader of the tribes of Israel? The Lord has anointed you king of Israel. And the Lord sent you on a mission and told you, 'Go and completely destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, until they are all dead.' Why haven't you obeyed the Lord? Why did you rush for the plunder and do what was evil in the Lord's sight?" "But I did obey the Lord," Saul insisted. "I carried out the mission he gave me. I brought back King Agag, but I destroyed everyone else. Then my troops brought in the best of the sheep, goat, cattle, and plunder, to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal. But Samuel replied, what is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, or your obedience to his voice? Listen, obedience is better than sacrifice, and submission is better than offering the fat of rams. Rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness as bad as worshipping idols. So because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he has rejected you. Then Saul admitted to Samuel, yes, I have sinned. I have disobeyed your instructions and the Lord's command. For I was afraid of the people and did what they demanded. But now, please forgive my sin and come back with me so that I may worship the Lord. But Samuel replied, I will not go back with you. Since you have rejected the Lord's command, he has rejected you as king of Israel. As Samuel turned to go, Saul tried to hold him back and tore the hem of his robe. And Samuel said to him, the Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today and has given it to someone else, one who is better than you. And he who is the glory of Israel will not lie, nor will he change his mind. For he is not human that he should change his mind. Then Saul pleaded again, I know I have sinned, but please at least honor me before the elders of my people and before Israel by coming back with me so that I may worship the Lord your God. So Samuel finally agreed and went back with him, and Saul worshipped the Lord. When the Lord said to Samuel, I am sorry that I ever made Saul king, for he has not been loyal to me and has refused to obey my command. When I read that, I shook. I was trembling, thinking about how many times I have disobeyed God and did what was pleasing in the eyes of men just to get their approval. How many times have we pleased the people instead of pleasing God and obeying his commandments? Our problem is we are so rooted in what our ancestors has been doing from long ago. They denied the living God and made to themselves the graven images that they can touch and feel, and made them their gods. Because you cannot see God with your own eyes, you have put your trust in man that you can see. That is why you do their will and not the will of God. When Samuel told Saul that God has rejected him, my heart dashed. My heart was troubled because I am like Saul. We are like Saul, people. We are not better than him. If God rejected Saul, why can't he reject us? Look, when people and friends reject you, you feel like the world has come to an end. You cry bitterly. You try everything to get them back and try to win them over with gifts. You get depressed. You isolate yourself. I don't know everything that you do, but you know, if you can't stand the rejection of men, what more about the rejection of God? Can you stand it? Can you stand the rejection of God? Who can stand the rejection of God? Oh, people of God, Saul was so full of himself. Saul loved to be honored. That is why even after this battle, He went and put a monument for himself so that he can be honored, because he loved to be honored. We are just like him. We love being honored. We want to be seen as good people. We want to be approved before the people. We are no better than Saul. Because of this, that is why he preferred to please the people than to please God. Whatever Saul did was to please the people and not God, because he was afraid of the people, that they will rebel against him. Do you remember what he said? When he admitted, he said, I have sinned. I have disobeyed your instruction and the Lord's command, for I was afraid of the people and did what they demanded. I was afraid of the people and did what they demanded. This is you and I, my friend. In everything that we do, we are afraid of being judged by the people. We are afraid of the people. Everything that we do, we must make sure that we please these people. And in most cases, we do what they want. What about what God has commanded? So the people's demands are greater than God's commandment. People of God, we need to repent. We need to stop pleasing the people and start pleasing God. Don't be afraid of the people. It is God whom we should fear, not the people. This is us, my friend. Everything that we do it for the people. When we bless people, we show it off because we want to be seen by people. Next time you go on a mission to bless the people, leave that camera at home. Do it for God and not for the people. Do it in secret, and the Lord who sees your heart will reward you. Then Saul pleaded again, I know I have sinned, but please, at least honor me before the elders of my people and before Israel by coming back with me so that I may worship the Lord your God. Saul loved to be honored. He wanted to look good before the people. He wanted to be seen as a man of good standing in front of them. He didn't care whether he's rejected or what. As long as he is honored before the people, that was everything to him. Don't live your life for the people. Live your life for God. Stop pleasing people and please God. Saul was rejected for not obeying God's commandment. Are we not worse than Saul? What will stop God from rejecting us if he rejected Saul? You see, honor and power that Saul so much loved were starting to corrupt his heart. After he was told that God has rejected him, he was still concerned about being honored before men. Absolute power corrupts. His response to someone was, I know I have sinned, but please at least honor me before the elders of my people and before Israel. Oh, people of God, we need to go back to God. We need to repent. We need to ask God for forgiveness. We are living our life for the people. Whatever decision that we make, we cannot finalize our decision without thinking of what will the people say? It is not about the people. It is about God. You can never please the people. Whether you do good, whether you do bad, the people will always talk. All that you need is the approval from God. Remember, people, we need God. Let us start seeking the face of God. Those that seek the face of God, God will not abandon us. He will not abandon you. If you seek His face, He will come quickly to your rescue. Child of God, let us repent. Let us go back to God and ask for forgiveness. We've put people before God, and we did what was pleasing in their eyes, not in the eyes of God. We live for the people. We don't live for God. We need to ask God to forgive us and start living our life for God. God is the one whom we should serve. God is the one that we should look for, that we should please, not the people. Child of God, it is not yet over. We can go back and rectify this. We can fix this error. Unaware, our conscience has always been telling us that make sure you look good for the people. Make sure you do this so that the people can applaud you. No, my friend. We do things because they are pleasing to God. We do everything because of God, not for the people. Remember, child of God, we can rectify this error. We can fix it. Let us repent. Let us go back and ask God to forgive us. And remember, it ain't over till Jesus says it's over. We are victorious. We are conquerors.